There is a particular kind of silence that follows the end of a friendship. Not the awkward silence that fills a room after an argument you can still fix, but the deep, echoing silence that settles when a person who used to know your jokes, your hurts, your routines, simply stops being there. Society writes scripts for romantic breakups: who to call, how to signal heartbreak, when to mourn. Society holds rituals for death: flowers, funerals, condolences. For the rupture of a friendship, we are usually offered nothing but a shrug and the suggestion to move on. That absence compounds the grief. It makes you feel as if your pain is unjustified, or worse, invisible. Validating grief begins with naming it. Friendship loss is often ambiguous and layered: a slow drift, a sudden betrayal, or an irreconcilable change in values. Each is legitimate. You loved someone who held a place in your life, someone who shared time, secrets, landmarks. The intensity of that attachment is not smaller because there was no romantic component. Neurologically and emotionally, relationships of close friendship activate the same systems of reward and attachment that romantic partnerships do. When they end, the brain registers loss. It registers longing. The emptiness you feel is real, and it deserves acknowledgement. To understand why adult friendships fail, it helps to recognize recurring psychological patterns. First, life transitions. Jobs, partners, children, relocation. These shifts realign priorities. Without conscious effort, the scaffolding of a friendship collapses. Second, unmet expectations. Friendships thrive on reciprocity. When one person consistently gives more time, emotional labor, availability, resentment accumulates. Third, boundary erosion. People change, and when one friend's boundaries tighten while the others remain loose, friction grows. Fourth, betrayal of trust. Infidelity in a romantic sense is paralleled in friendship by gossip, exclusion, or broken confidences. Trust fractures are hard to repair, and often the easiest route is to walk away. There are also subtler cognitive traps. We tell ourselves stories about why the relationship ended, stories that either absolve us or unfairly blame us. Confirmation bias leads us to interpret neutral actions as proof of abandonment. The reciprocity norm, the sunk cost fallacy, and attachment styles all shape how we interpret and respond to rupture. Anxious attachment makes us ruminate. Avoidant attachment can numb us. Recognizing these patterns reduces self-blame and offers a map for healing. A healthy path toward closure involves both practical steps and emotional work. Begin with honest assessment. What role did this person play in your life? What needs did they meet? Which of those needs can you meet differently now? If circumstances allow, and if both parties are willing, a candid conversation can be reparative. Speak your truth without accusation. Listen without defense. Sometimes closure arrives in that exchange. Sometimes you will learn that reconciliation is impossible. And learning that is a form of freedom. If direct communication is not possible, ritualize the ending. Create a private ceremony. Write a letter you don't send. Walk through a place you frequented together and say goodbye. Or gather mementos and decide what to keep. Rituals give the mind contour. They transform amorphous pain into a contained, witnessed event. Allow yourself to grieve publicly if you need to. Tell trusted people what happened. You do not need permission to mourn. Finally, cultivate new attachments and nourish old ones. Replace quantity with depth. Seek friendships that align with your current values and boundaries. Practice generosity with yourself. Grieving is not linear, and healing does not require erasure of memory. Integration is the goal, holding the past with compassion while opening space for connection. The dissolution of a friendship is a loss, but it can also be an invitation to understand your needs more clearly, to set healthier boundaries, and to build relationships that reflect the person you are becoming. The lack of scripts does not mean your grief is illegitimate. It means you have to create one. Validate your pain, learn the patterns that led here, and choose rituals and conversations that offer real closure. In doing so, you honor what was lost and prepare yourself for what might yet be found.